I have dealt with African women to an extent. You know, I've approached African women. I've talked to them, and I kind of think I know like the general perception of how African women generally perceive and treat Black American men. My father is Nigerian. My father was Nigerian. My mother is Black American, so I'm half Nigerian, half Black American. And most people, when you see me, most people when they see me, they don't know I'm African. They perceive me as being a Black American man. You know, I guess I look more Black American than I do African or whatever. Most people are surprised when I tell them that I'm African. But yeah, I'm half Nigerian, half Black American, and African women, I guess most of them, they perceive me as being a Black American. I tell them that I'm Nigerian or whatever, but with a lot of African women, if you don't have an accent, then they don't see you as being one of their people. You know, like I've spoken to African women several times or whatever, and as soon as if I tell them that I've never been to Nigeria or I've never been to the continent, they start acting strange. Like their demeanor will change after I tell them that I've never been to Africa before. It was like at the beginning of the conversation with the African women, they'll be feeling me or whatever, the conversation will be going normal. But as soon as I tell them I've never been to Africa before, they start to act kind of standoffish towards me. And like I've hollered at African women. A lot of times they don't give me no play or whatever. And I'm a handsome, dark-skinned Black American man. Tall, 6'2", handsome, good looking. And a lot of African women, they don't give me play. But, and that's kind of funny. I mean, but they'll fuck with an African dude, a continental African dude who is way less attractive than I am. I know how African women are. I know the type of dudes, the type of continental African brothers they'll fuck with. But they'll diss a Black American man, though, who is more attractive. But they'll fuck with an African man, who's continental African man, who's less attractive. And I kind of peeped that. And I know for a fact, with the way I look, I'm not trying to be cocky or whatever, but I'm an attractive Black man. I know with the way I look, if I had an African accent, African women will be a lot more receptive towards me. You know, I think African women, they don't fuck with me like that because they perceive me as being a Black American man. A lot of people in this society, they have something against Black American men. Like, people have something against us. Because I know how African women are. If I'm a handsome Black American man, if I was a handsome African dude from their country, and I had an accent, and I was born and raised in that culture, they'll fuck with me right off the bat. They'll praise me like a god. But since they perceive me as being a black American man, they don't fuck with me like that, you know. And I started to notice this really within these last couple years on how African women, a lot of these African women who move to America, they have this funny attitude towards black American men. The attitude towards black American men, a lot of these African women, is no different from anyone else in this society, like real talk. And it's a shame. It's really a shame. It's a shame, man. Me, as a half Nigerian, half black American, neither of the women, neither of my cultural women, black American or Nigerian, neither of them are really receptive towards me. And I'm a handsome chocolate dude, and neither of black American or African women, they're not really receptive of me. And I know for a fact it's not because I'm not attractive enough. It's because people in society have this like issue with black American men. Like people in this society have something against black American men, and women don't really fuck with us like that. Like there's an agenda not to fuck with us, really, to be honest. There is an agenda not to fuck with us. And a lot of these African women, yeah, they have something against black American men too. Like, I've talked to African women this has happened a couple of times with African women. Like, I'll be talking to them. The conversation would be going, you know, and out of nowhere, they're just turning back on me while I'm talking to them. Just out of some snub, haterism shit. You know, and it's crazy, man. Like, even as a Nigerians in America, Nigerians, a lot of Africans, they'll act all prideful and act like they love their people, love their culture so much. But when they come to America, a lot of these African women, they don't fuck with their man. It's like, you're supposed to be all prideful, you fuck with your people, woo to woo. But when you come to America, when you interact with your own group of men, a lot of times you treat them like scum. But they'll be receptive. African women, they'll be receptive of you if you're an actual continental African man and you speak the language, you have the accent and all that. But at times, you could be a Nigerian American guy, have two Nigerian parents, but if you don't have an accent or whatever, African women, they won't perceive you as being an African man, a continental African man. You know, they'll put you, you're a black American man, and they won't fuck with you. And it's crazy, man. I'm half Nigerian. I've met Nigerian women from my father's village, from my father's exact ethnic group. And literally, I met this woman from my father's village a few years ago. And she was not rocking with me at all because she didn't view me as being an authentic Nigerian So she wasn't rocking with me like that. And man, then there, then there was this Nigerian woman a few weeks ago. I chatted her up. I was at the bus stop or whatever. Then a couple of minutes, she told me she's from the same tribe as my father. She lived in the same state of Nigeria as my father, but she still wasn't fucking with me. I mean, I'm not gonna say she wasn't fucking with me, but she did some hater ass shit. In the middle of the conversation, she turned her back towards me. Like, these motherfuckers, a lot of these African women, they be straight up hating on Black American men. I know how my people are. If I was an actual Nigerian with an actual accent, that Nigerian woman at the bus stop, she would have been so friendly towards me. She would have treated me nice. She would have gave me her number. She wouldn't have did that hater ass shit, like turn her back against me. A lot of Africans in America, some of them have a funny attitude towards Black American men. And even if, like for me, even if they know either one or both your parents are from Nigeria, if you don't have an accent, if you've never been to Nigeria before or Africa before, or if you don't have that African demeanor, or if you have the demeanor of a Black American man, not an African man, they will perceive you as being a Black American man, and some of them won't fuck with you. I'm gonna keep it real, and it's a fucking shame. It really is.